It's 8 in the morning on a Monday. And we're looking at doing a squat, of course, with a cup of coffee. So, for the squat, we have two things that we're going to work on for the mobility before the squat. First, opening up the hip flexors. Hip flexors are important for keeping those knees out, right? So when you go down into a squat, you don't want your knees caving in, you want them out. If your knees out, you got to make sure that your hip flexors are mobilized. Second thing is ankles. If your ankles aren't mobilized, your squat will be something like this, or like that, because you can't really get the full range of motion there on the ankles. So, for the hip flexors, there are two ways of doing this. One is less painful than the other. First is the less painful one with a lacrosse ball, or it should basically be a hard ball. Don't go in with a tennis ball, you're not going to feel a thing. So with the lacrosse ball, what you're trying to do is mobilize each hip flexor individually. So you're trying to keep those lacrosse balls in line with your hip flexor, and really roll in. You won't see much of this, of course. So this is the less painful way of doing it. If you don't feel much with this, go in for a kettlebell. Now the kettlebell needs to be angled around 45 degrees, right there. So that's the handle of the kettlebell. In with your hip flexor. Dig in and smile. And do this approximately 2 minutes, no, not approximately, keep a timer, 2 minutes each side. And once you're done, so you really roll in, you should feel it on your hip flexors. Once you're done with this, we'll move on to the ankles. For the ankles, you need a band and something to tie the band on. And what we're going to do is get your foot through at the joint, kick up forward, you should feel the tension. Now, an important thing to keep in mind, those knees need to be moving outwards with your hip, not inwards, outwards, okay? So once you have that, try and get your knee as low as you can without getting the heel off the ground. That's the basic idea. Again, 2 minutes each side, and you're good to go.